Adrian Sargent. I'm the Chief Exec of a new organisation called the Philanthropy Centre. And the Philanthropy Centre exists, in essence, to grow philanthropy around the world. And any way in which we can find to do that, we have an interest in, but we're particularly focused on growing philanthropy by enhancing the quality of the donor experience. And I know that's something that interests you as well.
We share that interest, yes. And I'm Dean McChann, and I'm president of the iNFORMED Communications Group. iNFORMED is an organization that has built one of the first behavioral segmentation systems, we believe, in the world and in the market. And our belief is by building better relationship with donors is how you're going to make donors feel better, therefore you're going to have a better donor, both in support and longevity.
So one of the big issues that the sector faces today is retention. And frankly, on both sides of the Atlantic, we're pretty bad at it. I used to be ashamed of the performance that we achieved in the UK because over the course of the first year, half the people we recruit in never come back and give again. I thought that was terrible. Until I arrived in the United States and I realised, hey, that's a really good kind of performance.
That's a good number.
Here in the States, it's even worse. And so being able to identify folks that are at risk of attrition, I think, is hugely important. And it's hugely important because even if we're only able to retain a small additional percentage of those folks, it makes a massive difference to the lifetime value of the fundraising database. So I know you guys have been working on a new product that opens up access to some of that information for clients. I don't know if you could tell us a little bit more about the at-risk donor report.
Okay, thanks, Adrian. And I think just to fuel this discussion a little bit more, and I remember one of the first sort of conversations you and I had in depth was about donor retention, except we brought in also acquisition. So a lot of organizations view acquisition as a problem. We need to be able to acquire more donors. And then when you and I were talking about it, we got to a point where no, you actually need to work on keeping more of them. So there isn't a need to acquire more. And this is the double-edged sword. I don't think everybody sees clearly that your attrition problem is in fact your acquisition problem, and that we have become, complacent is not the word, but we've come to accept staggeringly big numbers on attrition. I know, it is not uncommon for us in Canada. Down here in the US, you'll see attrition rates of 50, 60, 65% on first year. And if you look at any other sector, absolutely unacceptable. That would be just not even conceivably acceptable. Yet somehow this has become an acceptable happening in fundraising. And this is where we felt that a lot of organizations, they only see the problem after it's happened. We've had donors leave, they've lapsed, they've gone into what we call our exit from file. That's not the time to be going back and trying to salvage a relationship back with behavioral segmentation, that in fact, is there not behaviors that are being shown that donors are at risk? And I'm not talking about the obvious donors at risk where we haven't got a gift for 23 months or heard from them and they're pretty much, we're feeling that they're gone. We're talking about donors that are young in their life cycle with the organization, that they have not reached the full potential of their LOA. And who are they? Where are they in the donor file? And one of the things the lens does very well behaviorally is it identifies at-risk donors. And it does it in a way that is maybe not as obvious. And we felt there was a need because this is, truthfully, it's a big concern. It's one of the most talked about things at conferences that we attend, that we needed to package it up and be able to present very clearly in an actionable state for the clients, at-risk donors. So we developed the at-risk donor report, which is basically pulls behavioral information out of the lens, identifies all the at-risk donors, some of the obvious ones, but more importantly, the ones that are not obvious, that are in your file. It identifies the revenue risk that is presented to your organization, help the organization make the case for support. Then it also, we've added to take it right down to the step of being actionable for our organizations that use our product, is that it actually presents a priority list on who is the most salvageable in that file, where you want to be making the investment, where are some of the best relationships that you actually stand the best chance of actually recovering that relationship and pulling them back towards the organization. We've added this on the Lens product as an additional subscription, and the value of it is literally, I would argue with anybody within 30 minutes of evaluating this report could actually be transitioning to an actionable state, picking up the phone if necessary and calling a donor to restart recovering those relationships. That's how far we've taken it to a point of making it easy for organizations that use it to actually act on it.
Yeah, and I think what's powerful about it, looking at it from the outside, is the ability to model what money's being left on the table if you choose to do nothing about it. And you can actually you can quantify the damage that's being done to an organisation by not focusing on that group of donors and not finding ways to re-engage them. And to the point I made a few moments ago, it's important to understand that even if you're only successful at reactivating, say, 10% of them, it makes a massive difference ultimately to the health of the organisation.
No, it absolutely does. And then all of a sudden now, if we are doing a good job at keeping those donors from lapsing, in fact, we're not solving just a retention problem. The need to acquire becomes less.